Hi crypto fans, welcome to CCS Cryptocurrency State. My name is Santiago and in today's video I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do some technical analysis on Bitcoin dominance. I'm going to explain you how Bitcoin dominance works and why it's important for you to use this tool to predict the next altcoin season, but also to help you understand when it could be the next Bitcoin top. So this is a technical analysis video. I hope you enjoy it. So first of all, the Bitcoin dominance is a percentage metric that reflects the ratio of Bitcoin to the total value in the cryptocurrency market. Its dominance over other cryptocurrencies show Bitcoin influence and dominance over the market. Bitcoin dominance chart can help us to know when the altcoin season starts, but also I'm going to show you that the Bitcoin dominance chart can also help us to predict Bitcoin tops. Not only using this chart, you will need to use other charts to confirm the Bitcoin top, but it's a very interesting tool to also try to predict the Bitcoin next top. To use it, you need to search on TradingView BTC.D and you will have your chart of the Bitcoin dominance. I'm going to give you some information and comparisons between the bull run of 2017 and 2022 to make you understand how this chart works. First of all, to know all the data for this chart that I'm going to show you on Bitcoin dominance, I took from the BLX, which is a historic chart of Bitcoin, all the tops and bottoms from the last bull run of 2021, but also from the bull run of 2017. So guys, this is the chart of the Bitcoin dominance that I want to show you. All the information below May 2017 for us is obsolete and doesn't apply for this information because at that time we only have a couple of altcoins and the Bitcoin dominance was almost over 96%. So the real information is only for the last two bull runs, the bull run of 2017 and the bull run of 2021. So starting in 2017, you can see that the Bitcoin dominance from this point, around the 70% of dominance, fell very quickly into this lower band, which was below the 40%, and this was a 35% of dominance. During this time is where we call what happened the altcoin season. So Bitcoin in August 2017 from this support area started to climb, reached the 70%, and then very quickly in less than a month dropped significantly below the 40%. This dump was a very big one because from the peak of the bull run on December 8th into January 13, it was only 1 month, so this was a very quick dump. During that moment, we had the peak of the bull run of 2017. Bitcoin reached 19k at that moment. So in this chart coincides the top of the Bitcoin dominance with the top of the Bitcoin price. And after that, we saw the altcoin season until January of 2018. So here I am showing you the same information. The Bitcoin peak on the Bitcoin dominance on the first bull run, it was at 71%, and in 1 month and 4 days it dumped into 35%. During that period we have the altcoin season, but what is very important that the peak of the price of Bitcoin coincide almost for 3 days with the peak on the Bitcoin dominance, because that only happened on that bull run. In 2021 it wasn't the case. That is why we cannot say that when Bitcoin dominance tops is exactly the top of the bull run. In 2021, what you can see around this green area is what was the bull run of 2021, and you can see that the Bitcoin dominance topped again around the 70% of dominance the 6th of January of 2021. But this time, the 6th of January of 2021, it wasn't the peak of the bull run. If you check here, around the 6th of January, we were around this price action, around 32k. So you can see that last time on the last bull run, we were almost in the middle of the bull run when the Bitcoin dominance topped out. So in last bull run, the top of the market, it was on April 12th of 2021. And you can see the Bitcoin dominance actually was already dumping. It was almost a 50% down from a top. But the time that the Bitcoin dominance again reached the 40%, it was the 20th of May of 2021, and the price of Bitcoin at that point, it was 34k. So from our peak of 74k, we almost dumped half of the price. So what this chart teaches about Bitcoin dominance and the Bitcoin performance? Well, for once, is that in one scenario, the Bitcoin price topped exactly at the top of the dominance, and in the second scenario, the Bitcoin top was on the half of the dump from the top of the Bitcoin dominance. So here we have our bull top on 2021, and here it was our top in 2017. Another lesson that this gives us is that if you find yourself on the Bitcoin dominance around the 40%, that means that you already lose in one scenario 50% from the top, and in the other scenario you are also like almost half of the percent of the top, because in 2017 we was 19k, and on January 13 Bitcoin price was at 11k. So this is very important to understand, because besides many other charts, you need to check always the Bitcoin dominance. When Bitcoin is already in this lower percentage, that means that we are already entering into a bear market zone, and we are going to start building up again dominance for the rest of the bear market. The same happened after this 2021 peak. The 20th of May we were at 34k. Bitcoin anyways did a second top on November, but from there you can see the dominance between 40 and 48. We reached our bottoms on the price of Bitcoin, and then slowly started to rise again the dominance since 2022. So if you find yourself below the half of the dump of the Bitcoin dominance, you need to be really out of the market at that point. You are probably already top out on the Bitcoin top, and you are probably ending the altcoin season too. So that is why the Bitcoin dominance chart is something to look up. Do I think that the Bitcoin dominance needs to go again into 70%? I don't know that, but it's what happened the last two times. These purple lines are marking the tops and bottoms on the Bitcoin dominance on the last two bull runs. So my expectation is that right now we are 61%. My expectation is that Bitcoin continue rising until the 70%, but that is not guaranteed by any means. So Bitcoin could easily top out right now with a Bitcoin price of 92,000, 93,000 at the top of the market, and then going down from here again into the 40% of the Bitcoin dominance, creating our altcoin season that we are waiting for. And maybe that is all the bull run of this time. I don't think that will be the scenario, but you cannot discard that possibility. If you want, like many people is predicting, a Bitcoin of 200k, you probably need that the Bitcoin dominance continue going up another 10%, and this could be a couple of months. At that point, Bitcoin could reach again a 70% of dominance. Altcoins are going to continue going up slowly, not in an altcoin season, but slowly. And from there, you will expect another dump into the Bitcoin dominance like happened in the previous two bull cycles. The difference with the previous bull cycle is that this took more time. This was almost 3 months from the peak of the Bitcoin dominance until we reached the 40% of dominance. This was 4 months. Now at this point, I think it's very clear how this could help you to try to predict where is Bitcoin in terms of the peak of the bull run or not. But what about the altcoin season? But it's very important to see this because, like I mentioned, Bitcoin top at 19k 11 of December. And if you check most of the major altcoins at that point, they peak on January 13 of 2018 on the case of Ethereum, and for BNB it was January 11. So most of the altcoins peaked 1 month after Bitcoin tops, and that is usually the case with all the different altcoins. And if we check the bull run of 2021, we are going to see the same pattern. The first Bitcoin top, it was on April 12 of 2021 when Bitcoin reached 64.5k. That was the big peak and the big movement of the bull run. We after had in November another higher high, but many consider this like a double top. So my expectation, what I am trying to reach, is this first situation, the first big peak on a bull run. If we have another double top, I don't care to miss this $5,000 if I can really predict this first peak. So at that point, this was the 12th of April, 64k, and in the case of Ethereum, you can see again the peak at that point, it was on May 11, and for BNB also was at May 11. So again, this was 1 month after the top of Bitcoin. For the November dates, it was in the same place, it was already very weird. The market was in a very different situation. So the Bitcoin price peak on November, it was also the same for altcoins around the same time. All of those were at the same moment. But the Bitcoin dominance didn't reach too much high at that point on November. Even if the price it was higher at that point, really the upside it wasn't sustainable. So I will leave this information with 100% certainty that in the two bull runs, altcoins reached the peak 1 month after Bitcoin. And that is why all the analysts say that the Bitcoin dominance when goes down, that means that the altcoin season started. Because here, when Bitcoin in December topped out, that was the top of the price of Bitcoin too. So 1 month after, the Bitcoin dominance, it was around 40%. And that was the moment that altcoins peaked. So during all these months that Bitcoin was going down, altcoins actually were going up. And a similar scenario happened here. But in this case, Bitcoin peaked here on April, on the middle of the dump of the Bitcoin dominance. But from April and during all this time until May, when Bitcoin was again at 40%, altcoins were doing and generating the new peaks on the bull run. So other thing that you can see is that Ethereum peaks on January and in May, the same that BNB January and May on the two bull runs. And that also coincides with the 40% on the Bitcoin dominance. In January, the Bitcoin dominance was at 40% or below, and this was the peak of the altcoins. And the same happened here on 2021, when Bitcoin dominance was at 40%. We already have the peak of the altcoins a couple of days before that. So this is a very important indicator. When Bitcoin dominance is on the downtrend here around the 40%, on the last bull runs is when we saw the peak of most of the altcoins. So that will be also a great indicator for you to sell your altcoins. When you are, for example, below 48, you should start considering to start taking profits from your altcoins. And probably when you hit the level on Bitcoin dominance of 40 or less, you should be probably selling the rest of your bags on your altcoins. So that is why this chart is great and why the Bitcoin dominance, if you check the facts and compare the dates on what happened with the dominance versus what happened with the Bitcoin price and the altcoins price, you will be taking a look very closely to this chart. Also, other charts that could help you is the total market cap without considering Bitcoin. So that is basically a chart for the altcoins as a total unity. So that chart is very interesting to see when the altcoin season can start. But with all this information for the Bitcoin dominance, you can now understand. Just for recap, the previous tops of Bitcoin happened at the top of the dominance in one bull run and in the other in the middle of the dump of the Bitcoin dominance. So this area is very important when you think that we are already topping out on the Bitcoin dominance. That could be well done right now at 61%, or it could be in a couple of months around the 70%. Then you know that we are going to be close to the top of Bitcoin on terms of price action. And then when the Bitcoin dominance goes below or around 40, you are probably already topping out on the altcoins. And in all that dump is what we are going to be calling the altcoin season. So I hope the explanation of the Bitcoin dominance helped you for this bull run. Put your comments below if you liked this video and you enjoy some TA analysis and educational content about Bitcoin, altcoins, and how we can prepare ourselves for this bull run. Before we leave, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get the notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.